So, Rob, you got some announcements to make. You already made them, but let's hear them on RVD
Yeah,
TV.
you may have caught word on social media, but RVD cannabis has reached reached the market. Um, this week we had a soft launch, so you can go to damngoodcbd.com and rvd420.com. But as Dom and I were discussing, we got like a roadblock that came up that said something about private information when we tried the other one yesterday. It took me to that site there, but anyway, yeah, there's they said they're going to be loading it up with products today, so keep checking back with it. But so far it's gummies, CBD gummies, and it's also like merchandise. And we're going to be rolling out in several states. We have several partners that are dispensaries that will be carrying the product with really big names. If you're familiar with Bahama Mamas or Planet 13 here in Las Vegas, Mint dispensaries, they have like 34 or more dispensaries around the country. So pretty stoked. This is really big. Anyone wondering, yes, I will bring my pain cream back because it was the best in the market, and a lot of people got to try it and miss it. So that's one of my priorities. I've already given it to the labs to recreate, and we will have pre-rolls, we'll have flowers, we'll have THC drinks. When it comes to the CBD, there's products. When it comes to THC, there's products. We'll be doing other cannabinoids as well. I'm looking forward to going on a bit of a tour and actually visiting the dispensaries in different states, especially Battle Creek, Michigan, to the marijuana mile, as they call it, where all the dispensaries are on Columbia Avenue right now, because that was not part of Battle Creek when I was there, of course, and having left left Battle Creek, went out into the real world with Battle Creek watching, proud of me. And then a lot of them would say that that the cannabis has held me back or put a bump or two in my road, for sure. So to be able to say, not only are we talking about turning a negative into a positive, but I never changed my views on it ever since the beginning. I've always known that cannabis would eventually be legalized and accepted. I always knew common sense would prevail. If you don't know, we've just rescheduled cannabis from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3. That's huge. To try and demonstrate just how big that is, my entire life has been a Schedule 1 since 1970. Cannabis has been, it's been prohibited since the 30s, but in 1970, Richard Nixon made the Controlled Substance Act, where he's going to categorize all these drugs. Schedule 1 is the most harmful for your health, for society, most addictive, no medicinal benefits whatsoever. Well, that's where they put cannabis. It was supposed to be temporary, why they did a study, but when the reports came back from the study, that was inconsistent with Nixon's agenda, so he threw the report in the trash. And cannabis has always been a number one scheduled substance for the last 56 years. So
yeah,
something like that. Yeah, well, like I said, my whole life. So that's really, really huge. And also, it's been a long time coming because of the hypocrisy. While they say it's non-medicinal, they actually were giving THC as medicine to people that are wasting away with diseases like AIDS or severe cancer. Like, it's called Marinol. It's a pill, THC, 100%. They've always had that. So that's the hypocrisy. They also grew weed. And I used to mail pre-rolled joints to people that were involved in this program in the 70s or 80s, I believe the 80s, grandfathered in for life, though, well after the program closed. They would still send them weed while at the same time other people are getting thrown in jail, their houses sold, their dogs killed because of cannabis and because of its classification. Now that it's a Schedule 3, things are going to change. It's going to be a lot more acceptable. The education is going to be changing for people. You know, I was taught it was a dangerous hallucinogenic, along with heroin, acid, PCP. I was scared to death of cannabis growing up. You know, it's the worst. Well, that's going to change because it's getting more accepted. For the first time now, they're saying that more adults in the United States are actually smoking cannabis or consuming it more than alcohol, and that's a big difference. You know, when I started advocating, everybody was smoking cigarettes, and I was trying to tell them, you're killing yourself with the cigarettes. 50% of long-term cigarette smokers die as a direct cause of the smoking cigarettes. And while cannabis is the most dangerous, it's got 0 deaths. It does not produce enough toxicity to cause fatality. And that's always been something that I thought if people knew, that they'd be interested in it, at least because, again, of the hypocrisy of the federal government. You leaving, baby?
I'm gonna just go check on Cara.
Oh, okay. So anyway, it's kind of an exciting time now for cannabis, for the industry. Oh, come here, Lovey.
Oh, Lovey.
Yeah.
Poor
For some
Lovey.
reason, she can't jump off of anything the last couple of days. She just cries when she's on the couch or on a bed and waits for us to get her. I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, I want to make cannabis more accessible for people who do want it. It's not for everybody. If they want it or need it, I definitely want to make it so that they can have it. And it comes in all kinds of forms. We got gummies, lollipops. Not everyone has to smoke, and a lot of people don't like smoking, and I get that. That's my preferred method through trial and error. But I get it if that's not the way that you want to consume. So there's lots of other options if you even want to do that. But anyway, I've always known that eventually people would come around and they would learn, like, hey, this cannabis thing isn't the evil devil's lettuce that we were taught back in the day. And we really were in the 30s when they campaigned to originally prohibit it. They wanted you to think it was evil. It made you insane and violent. And it's always been a disinformation campaign from the government to scare people away from cannabis. And the reason is because you can replace so many products, so many big conglomerate businesses. Like Jack Harry used to tell me 80% of everything can be replaced with hemp. You can use it as fuel, not just the lumber in the wall, but the actual paint, the vinyl. You can eat it. You can wash your hair with it. You can wear it. You can do anything. And in a lot of cases, it's superior to its competitive textiles and textures, whether in the final product or in manufacturing or both. So anyway, for a long time, cannabis has been the bad guy for reasons that are false, for directly and intentionally false information. Also, it's been associated just, with a losing lifestyle, which people are realizing there's a lot of really successful people that smoke too, and they're coming out, and they should be coming out from the shadows, not being as ashamed. I myself, although I always admitted that I smoked, I didn't smoke on camera until I did B Real's TV show, or his his podcasts where they roll the windows up and fishbowl us in the car. What's
Yeah,
that called?
yeah.
You know?
Hot boxing?
Yeah, hot box, smoke box, whatever.
Hot boxing? Yeah.
For the longest time, I thought, if there's videos of me smoking, one, I didn't like it. Two, I thought it was an ugly look when I didn't like when I'd see pictures of it. But also, I didn't want that to be used against me and people to deny credibility based on their beliefs that, oh, it's a stoner, write it off. It's a stoner talking to you, just, don't even listen to it. Instead of listening to the actual facts. And that's where I've always felt my position was with advocacy. I've always felt like my position is more with telling people about facts, about statistics, about dates, about numbers, and about firsthand perspective. So, firsthand experience is the one that I trust the most out of all the experiences. Sometimes second or third hand experience is all you need. Someone wants to tell me how it was, whatever, being gay and what's that actor's lap? Who's the guy? Shia, being gay in Shia LaBeouf's lap. I don't need to experience that firsthand. I'll second, third hand. That's
wait, what is this? Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, it's an interview he did where it's hilarious. He's drunk. Yeah, if you watch it, hopefully somebody watching saw the interview.
He got arrested in New Orleans.
New Orleans.
And so then afterwards he was like doing press because it was like all these viral clips of like he went to jail and then was like partying right when he got bailed out. And then so he had gotten into it with a gay guy. And then he was like, gay guys scare me. I mean, be gay over there. Don't be gay in my lap. There's just so many random funny quotes.
It's funny. But anyway, I don't even know what I was talking about now. I got sidetracked. But anyway, we learned from experience firsthand or someone else telling us about their experiences or reading about someone else's. But firsthand, that's the one you can count on. That one's the realest to each person that experiences it. And I've spent, like 35 years or so studying cannabis. So I'm glad to be the guy that people can come to ask about these products and about what to expect or not to expect or dangers or whatever, it's ridiculous. Michael Phelps gets caught with weed, and instead of trying to learn from him, we try to bring him down to our level. Put the bong down and pick up some vegetables. Like, come on. What kind of role model? Dude, he's the world's greatest athlete by awards, by
Olympics.
7 medals that he, like, by those standards, and he's involved in a sport where lungs mean everything.
Yeah, big time.
And how about learning from him? You know what I mean? Like, those of us that have studied cannabis have always heard that THC actually expands your lung capacity. People that are against weed, they don't want to hear that. It doesn't make sense to them. Forget about it. Why even bother giving any credibility to it? Because it doesn't even matter. Well, guess what? It's going to matter now.
Yeah, heck yeah. So this is the damn good CBD. That's going to be available in 7 different states, right? Is that did you know details of that?
Yeah, I don't think we're limited to 7 states. We got like a rollout plan for the summer with obligations and dispensaries and stores, but then we're picking up and we'll continue to pick up all along the way until, we're everywhere we can be. Like with CBD, of course, you can ship that off the website. You can send that everywhere. THC can't actually cross state lines. So even when it's a Schedule 3, you can have your prescription for your back pain and you can take that with you on a trip, but marijuana is still not the same, even if it is a Schedule 3. So they still got a little ways to go, to make it like, but that's where it is right now. So it's got, like in Florida, it's got to be grown by the actual mint dispensaries that are going to be selling it. So that'll be different in each state. We have maybe 7 states listed in that summer rollout plan, but definitely not stopping there.
Yeah, ain't no stopping it. This is a nice setup for the website too. Go to damngoodcbd.com. You guys can pre-order some of the bundles here, and you get entered into a raffle there too. So you get
Lighter.
Yeah. Why is that funny?
First place gets a 10-minute video call with RVD. 5-second places get a recorded video from RVD.
Phone call.
Right.
Oh, what happened?
A 10-minute phone call with RVD.
That's what it says. 10-minute phone call. You chat with somebody on the phone, I guess. Video call.
It's a long time.
That's all, hey, what are you going to talk about?
Right.
Yeah.
You can ask like so much in 10 minutes.
I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, you might want to check those out, Rob. There's a few of them on here.
Oh my god, that's funny.
So RVD, you go to damngoodcbd.com, check out the raffle.
Yeah.
And then everybody else go to damngoodcbd.com. Check it out.
Yeah, I better. So, you know what's cool is that the product is already in demand. Like I get asked all the time about RVD product because I had RVD CBD for a while in 2021 or whenever it was. I'm not sure. I think it ended in 23. I could be off by a year or something, but it's been gone for a while. My partners, Justin Sampus and Jesse Daly, they had their own little CBD company before. Mm-hmm. When I joined them, they were still running theirs, and then also being part of mine, but they were putting the money from mine, just putting it into their own company and then lying to me about it and telling me they weren't doing that. So that's why with that one, I just pulled the plug out. I said, fuck that. I don't want to work with those guys. And from the start, like I knew that they were sharky and struck me like sales people, more than people tell me all the time that I'm genuine, and they can tell that and I appreciate that is a quality that I respect. So I take that compliment to heart, and therefore it inspires me to be consistent, because if you're real, you gotta be real all the time. You can't be real part of the time and full of shit the other. It don't work that way. So anyway, I have a lot of people that have asked me for the last 3 years or 4 years or whatever, like where can I get the product, and do you have any more of that pain cream? And so yes, and yes, man, I'm pretty excited about it, and it's going to be much bigger than it ever was before. It's not just a couple of con artists trying to
use your name and
what's weird is that like everything was going so good. Why stop there? Like I don't know what their long-term plan was, because we were really on the grow, like different products, different companies, like and the future always looked like unstoppable. So then why do that? I don't know, and why so early on and then cut it off? And what would you expect me to do when you tell me, oh well, I am paying myself a salary. Well, I am too. What would you expect to happen? It's weird. Don't know what their long-term goals were, but with this, it's professional people that have been in, and are in and around the game for a long time, and people that have respect for me too. So, this feels way better than that ever did.
Well, so like far too, just
with the Evil X. With the Evil X, I never say, that there was times when everything was great. I always say there was never a time when I felt like she trusted me. Always, afraid to say the wrong thing, and that's how it is with certain partnerships. Afterwards, you wonder, like, why do you get involved with crazy people like that? And you try not to do it again, but sometimes it happens. But it's not the same as saying, I thought for sure those guys were trustworthy at first. I wouldn't say that, just like I wouldn't say my Evil X, was trusting. But I would say that right now, the guys that I'm working with all seem like really good people, good intentions, and and professional.
Yeah, and that's what you want too. You want to cultivate a good relationship with people you can trust, and the professional aspect. Do they have like the experience and the background and knowledge of stuff and the passion that you do for some of this stuff too when it comes to that? So that's good. And so far, it looks like off to the right start because the website looks great and really good setup and everything. So everybody be sure to check
Sparklift,
it
you
out.
got him, Jem. I
Jem was on the ball with it.
think Katie and Saba are out of the room. I don't know.
All right. All
If they come
right.
back in and I don't see them, let me know.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted.